when the hearing was going to be held. And so it was kind of just straggling out there on its own. And in appropriations, we struck most of that language in Section 3 to get rid of the fiscal note. This just strikes the rest of that language. And with that, members, I ask for an aye vote on L006.
Is there any further discussion on L006? Representative Levy.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Representative Looper, I like what you've done on lines 5 through 8 of your amendment, but I'm unclear now with striking lines 9 through 25 regarding, let's see. Yeah, so what is, tell me just in a nutshell what's left of the bill here with your amendment.
Representative Looper.
Thank you. What is left is Section 1, which I believe the intent of the bill is to ensure that there is a lot owner that sits on the board. And Section 2, the top portion of Section 2, the rights of the lot owners. Those sections with an effective date are still in the bill. And it was my understanding that that was the intent of the bill. And since there is, again, other language in Title 12 that directs nonprofits to disclose this information, I thought the rest of the bill was unnecessary.
All right, thank you. I apologize for having to ask you to explain.
Is there any further discussion on L006? Representative McKinley.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. What this does, it takes the enforcement out. It takes that clause out, I believe it's line 17, page 3, that says the Attorney General shall retain oversight. They don't want to retain oversight. Now, do they retain oversight in other cases? Here's, you can get this report. It's got the seal of the state of Colorado on it. And on page 2, it says 65 cases has been sent forward to the Attorney General's office for resolution. Now, these aren't cemetery cases. Has nothing to do with cemeteries. This is just a report that shows, and this is dated June 1st, 2011. On that date, 65 cases have been referred to the Attorney General for resolution. They didn't go to court. 65 cases sent for resolution. And then on December 30th, 2011, we have the number of cases referred to the Attorney General's office for resolution. 470 cases were referred to the Attorney General's office for resolution. No court case. Attorney General handled it. So what we're trying to do here is to say, if your loved one's grave is not taken care of, we're asking the Attorney General to enforce the rules that's in statute 12-12-101. So with that, I offer a substitute motion, or amendment, excuse me, L0010.
All right.
I'm asking for a no vote because it takes all of the enforcement out and it puts it right back. You want to know why your grave's not taken care of, go hire an attorney, spend $25,000 in 3 years. We don't want that. Vote no on this.
Representative McKinley, substitute amendment was out of order because they just did the bill and were to the amendment to the Appropriations Committee report. Representative Looper.
Thank you, and thank you, Representative McKinley, for working so hard on this issue, because it's also very important to me. What's also very important is that there's not duplicative language throughout the statutes. Currently, under 2431-101, the General Assembly hereby recognizes and reaffirms that the Attorney General has all powers conferred by the statute and by common law in accordance with Section 24-211 regarding a trust established for charitable, educational, religious, or benevolent purposes. Pardon me. So with all due respect, it does not remove any enforcement. What it does is it removes the language for the enforcement in this bill because that enforcement language is in other statutes of the bill. And then it also clears up, I should say cleans up, the rest of the Attorney General's language that was left in the bill that cleared up the fiscal note. So I believe I've worked very, very hard to protect the intent of the bill, which was to ensure that a lot owner had an official seat on the board, and that the board also, because he's a board member, those board members have access and they have rights to access financial documents, maintenance documents for these cemeteries. And with that, members, there is no intention on my part to gut this bill, but just to clean up some language that is not in the bill. And with that, I ask for an aye vote on this amendment.
Representative Soper.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I rise in opposition to L006. Members, the way the current language in the laws and the statutes are now, is supposedly you have enforcement. We've talked to the Attorney General's office, and they did not follow the statutes to enforce any of this. The way the language of the current bill without this amendment say, yes, they would enforce it. So I'm a no on L006.
Mr. Assistant Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And members, this amendment is vitally crucial to the passage of this bill. Okay? If you don't have this amendment, the bill is unconstitutional. The bill would be unconstitutional because this, as the bill is currently written, we're asking the Attorney General's office to take on a role of the judiciary. Right here it says on page 3, starting at line 4, if a person provides information that a cemetery corporation may not be fulfilling the duties required by the article, the Attorney General shall hold a hearing. You know what, members? Attorney Generals don't hold hearings. The judiciary branch of government is the one responsible for holding hearings. So what we've done here is we've created with this portion in the bill, we've made this bill completely unconstitutional. So this amendment needs to pass for the bill to ultimately pass constitutional muster. If this amendment does not pass, we're asking the Attorney General's office to take a role on that is not theirs. This amendment needs to pass.
Representative Levy.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I like this amendment for various reasons, but not among those reasons is the fact that it fixes a constitutional problem. I respectfully disagree with the Assistant Majority Leader on his point.